Hi YouTubers, welcome to 1095 Workhorse. My name is Rick. This is my new YouTube channel. I'm the new guy on the block and I'll be reviewing mainly knives. Other things I will be reviewing as well are firearms and maybe other things that I believe are high value tools, equipment, things that I have that I think serve a strong purpose with low cost money. I'm not a very deep pocket person, don't have a big house and a lot of cash and millions of cars like Jay Leno or somebody like that. I'm just your average guy who looks for things that are going to last, workhorse, without pumping a whole lot of money into it. At the beginning of my video, you will see me stabbing a knife into a log. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a runny nose and maybe a bit of a cold starting. So the knife that you see at the video is this guy right here. You will recognize it. This is the USMC K-Bar. This is the newer version with a rubberized handle instead of the leather wrappings. But I use this at the beginning of the video because this is the epitome of high value knife workhorse. 1095 steel, started off in World War II, being used today by not only some of our armed force people, but as some of people internationally, Israeli special forces. So to me, this is the, like I said, the poster child for a workhorse. What I'd like to begin with on this channel is the very first knife I ever purchased. The Old Timer 470T. Now I'll give you a little history on this. I wanted a knife. Well, actually I didn't know if I wanted a knife. I was at Big Five. I was just kind of looking around and browsing. Didn't have anything particular in mind to purchase. I decided, let's see what they have around Big Five. So I was walking around Big Five, checking out their firearms. Wasn't in firearms at the time, so I didn't buy any firearms. Look at some of their other stuff, some of their camping equipment. Then I saw their knife case. And I thought, I've never owned a knife. I think it's about time to own a knife because I'll be getting into a type of business that will probably utilize a knife. So I saw this knife, and when I went looking for a knife, I didn't have any knowledge of knives. I was basically a person, like a person looking for a car and had no knowledge or experience or background or did any kind of information gathering to be well knowledge and well versed about cars. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for a paint job and a radio. Does the car look good? Does the radio work? I'm happy. So this Old Timer knife is my paint job and my radio basically. I looked at it in the case, it was opened up, and I thought, wow, that's a pretty cool looking knife, man. It has this nice, what I know now as buoy type tip. It had serrations, kind of gave it an aggressive look. And at the time, I think I bought this for $15-20 on sale probably. Maybe even not on sale. Can't remember, it was quite some time ago. So I got the knife, purchased it, used it a few times, and as I was starting to get more familiar with knives, I brought this sucker back out, probably in about a week ago. And because I was starting to gain more knowledge about knives, I'm a knife collector now, I wanted to know a little bit more about the knife. So I called the company that now makes Schrade knives, because as any collector knows, or anyone who's well versed on knives know, that Schrade is now a Taylor brand knife. Taylor makes their own knives, Taylor brand knives. They also make Schrade knives, Old Timer knives, and anything associated with the Schrade brand. They also do Smith & Wesson, and U.S. Army, I believe, is the other brand that they carry. So I called them up and I said, I have this old timer's knife. It's made by the USA brand Schrade before you guys took them over. It's a 470T. What can you tell me about it? Well, they told me, if I recall, a 440A steel. Not the greatest steels, not bad steel, just a good common steel. Don't know what their tempering was like or heat treatment was like back then. I'm assuming it's pretty on par with what they do now at Taylor brand, maybe a bit better, hard to say. So I said, can you guys service this knife? And I had a feeling they couldn't, considering how the knife looks and how it's built. And they said, well, we have a guy we recommend to all our people about surfacing the knife. So I email this guy and I tell him, what I have. And he emails back to me and he says, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. You got a USA Schrade made knife, kind of rare. Well, maybe not so rare for this guy. Unfortunately, this is not the best design ever made. For the obvious reasons, if you see the knife, I don't have a cameraman with me today, so I'll just kind of give you a little close-up there that way. If you can see, there are no screws at the bottom at any portion of this knife. Not on that side, not on that side. So if you ever drop this knife, if you get it gummed up at the pivot points, good luck on deploying it with a thumb stud, even manually just pushing it. It's quite stiff, and trying to flick it out. If you're lucky, you get it in 4 flicks. Most likely, at this point, hey, what do you know? I got it in 1 flick. Uncommon. Maybe it's the weather. Yeah, but see, you just can't. So with that in mind, I couldn't disassemble it, I couldn't service it, and neither could he. So that's the story on this knife. As far as the build of this knife, it's Schrade quality. It's pretty decent build. Has a kind of a rubber green inlay and a thermoplastic type of handle. Fills the hand very well. Has nice grooves. I'm not real big on this. It's like a liner lock for dummies where it says press here, which is, I guess, good for me when I first bought the knife because I knew nothing about knives. So it fills the hand well. This little liner lock, kind of uncomfortable when you're gripping it because you got this bump going there. Yeah, you can get your fingers around it, but it's just kind of awkward how they have it. Because on one side they have that grooved, and on this side it's exposed. So it can be a little uncomfortable digging into your fingers if you really have to kind of grip into it. There's no jimping anywhere, but that's okay. The rubberized handle does a fairly decent job. You have your little lanyard hole in back here. What else can I tell you about this? The thumb stud, kind of interesting, like a little rubberized or plastic thumb stud. When it worked pretty good. Would I recommend this knife? For 15-20 bucks? Yeah, I suppose so, for that amount of cost. It's almost a throwaway knife just because you can't service it. That's kind of bugs me. Because now I know so much about knives, I'm wondering if, could I peel it apart and what could I do to get into there? My guess is if I got into there, it would probably be riveted, and you still couldn't service the thing. So I just keep it in my drawer just for memory's sake value, and that's about it. Occasionally I'll pull it out to do a task. It's fairly sharp. I had it sharpened not too long ago. I haven't used it a whole lot since. So if you ever see these, pick it up for 15-20 bucks. Even cheaper if you can get it. Would I buy it again? Probably not. So that's my review of the very first knife I owned. I have plenty of other knives to review from all different brands and all different companies. Like I said, it probably won't be reviewing the really high-end knives as far as cost-wise. 2, 3, want to send me something, your knife to review. I'll be more than happy to do that. I don't have connections like Prepared Mind or None Fancy Projects. I just don't have those kind of connections. I'm just a common guy buying knives that I like, that appeal to me, and do reviews on them after I've used them for a while. If there have been knives that have been reviewed to death, like the K-Bar has been reviewed to death, I'll still review it, but it will be a very short review. I'm not going to go batoning it or throwing it into a log like Survival on Purpose does, because I'd probably miss a gazillion times because I'm not that savvy on knife throwing. But it will be those kind of knives will be short videos. I will show you longer videos of knives that after doing some research on YouTube, of guys or gals or whomever who maybe see 2 or 3 reviews on them, then I'll do a longer review if I have any helpful input on those. Or I'll review a knife that hasn't been reviewed at all. I know I have a few fixed blades in a few folders that have never been on YouTube that I think might be helpful to a viewer in purchasing a knife if they're looking for that kind of EDC knife or fixed blade or what have you. But that's my goal. That's kind of my mission statement for this channel, is to bring to you products, mainly knives, a few firearms, a few other things that the common guy could have a lot of fun with, will know it will last, and it's just a good high value product. So hope to see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to my channel, and I hope you have a good day. God bless.